Hi guys, today I'm going to be doing a faux stone. I haven't done one for a while, so I thought I'd do one today. And this is a Jasper that I saw. I really like the look of it. It didn't specify which kind of Jasper because there's so many different varieties of it, but it had these really nice earth tones. I'm going to try and replicate that. Okay, and I've got a block and a quarter of white Premo white trans here, and I'll be mixing some alcohol inks. I've got this Cernit Wine red, brown, and just a violet. It's a Piccasio one, but it doesn't matter which brand you use, just basically a brown, purple and red. So I'm going to put those together because they're going to go together. And then this is just 3/4 of a block of white Premo trans from a 2-ounce block, a strip, sorry, not a block, a strip from a 2-ounce block. And this is going to go with the Espresso alcohol ink, which is Ranger. And then over here I've got another strip from a 2-ounce block, and this is going to be mixed with some gunmetal alcohol ink, and again that's Ranger. And then I've got another strip from a 2-ounce block, which is just going to get chippy chopped up. And then I've got this little chunk of bronze Premo. You really don't need a great deal, and that's going to get chippy chopped up. So let's just move these out of the way for now, because you're also going to need some translucent liquid clay. I'm using Kato, you can use any. Some black liquid clay, some gold leaf, and I'm using some My Spring white pearl mica powder that's linked in my Amazon, and also this My Spring from the two-tone collection in the olive gold colour, again listed in my Amazon storefront. So that's everything that you're going to need. So for this then, the strip and a little chunk, I'm just going to give it a quick roll out, because I'm just going to add some alcohol ink to this. And I'm going to add 4 drops of the brown. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 drops of the wine red. 1, 2, 3. And 1 drop of the violet. Actually 2 drops of the violet. So 4, 3 and 2 in those proportions. And I'm just going to quickly rub it over the clay, and you're going to get this really nice dark, almost maroony colour. All right, so I've just done that quickly, and I'm going to put that to one side to dry. And then the other strip, I'm going to add the gunmetal. I'm not going to clean my brush off though, guys. I've got some of that still on this brush, because I really liked how it looked when I mixed it in with this gunmetal. I'm just going to quickly roll that out though. And I'm going to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drops of the gunmetal. And I'm using my dirty brush just to mix it in, like so. And again, that needs to be left to dry, like so, to one side. I'm just going to clean my brush off a little bit now. And then over here we've got this slightly smaller strip, and I'm just going to chop this piece of clay into fairly chunky pieces, like so. Okay, and I'm going to add some of this alcohol ink, which is the Espresso one, so just enough to coat the chunks. Give that a quick tumble in the ink. And I'm not even concerned about completely coating the chunks, to be honest, guys. But I should have probably put my gloves on for this, and I forgot. So I'm going to quickly do that, and then just pop it to one side out of the way and let that dry. And just get rid of some of this. right, so all that's got to dry. And then I've still got this one strip of trans, and again I'm just going to quickly chop that up into fairly big chunks. I'm not being overly precise at this point. I can chop more down the road if I want to, but I'm just showing you the different sections that you need. And then last but not least, I'm taking this bronze, which is just a tiny bit, and this is going to get chopped up into really small bits. So I won't bore you with that, but just so it's like almost crumb-like. Okay, obviously that needs chopping more, but I won't bore you with that. So that's the other component as well. So I'm going to take those strips that I've got alcohol ink on, and I'm going to thoroughly mix the brown, red and purple, this one. I'm going to thoroughly mix that. This one I'm going to not thoroughly mix. It's going to get bit mixed but not thoroughly. And when I've done all that, I'll be back. This is the strip that was mixed with the alcohol ink in brown, red and purple. So that's thoroughly mixed, and that's just going to get rolled up into a log. Doesn't have to be perfect, just, you know, like this. And this is the piece that had the gunmetal, and you can see that I've not thoroughly mixed that at all, and that's just going to get rolled up into a log. All right, so let's go with this bit first then. Just going to quickly roll it out, and I'm going to just chop this up very chunky and kind of angular as best as I can. So just chop it up, leaving the chunks fairly big, like so. And this one, the one with the gunmetal, once I've rolled it into a log, I'm going to try and keep these pieces really quite elongated, like so. So they're not getting chopped up into chunks, but more like long strips like this, okay? So that's those. I'll just check the size. I think that looks pretty good. And they can go to one side. And then, oh, I didn't chippy choppy this up even more, did I? I'll just quickly do that, guys. I meant to do that and I didn't. So the bronze then, that needs to be chopped up even smaller, and I'm also going to add some of that olive gold My Spring mica powder to this. Just a little touch, like so. And it's probably a good thing I didn't chop it actually, because I always like to get my little pieces coated before I chop any more. It just helps separate those chunks so you can see a bit better how much you need to chop, and that's still quite chunky. So I'm just going to keep going with that, and I will do the rest of this off camera. All right, so I've chopped this really small, as you can see. It's almost like druzy, and that's as far as I'm going to go with that. So just move this out of the way a little bit, wipe that down, dry it off. And then I'm going to take all the other chunks and I'm going to add some white, pearl white mica powder. Not a great deal though, just a tiny bit, and it's just to help separate the chunks. And this stuff is potent anyway. It's very pigmented, so I don't need a great deal. Just a little bit in each one. Just give that a quick tumble. Help separate the chunks. I might cut these a little bit smaller. Let me just see. Yeah, maybe just a fraction smaller on these. Just another couple of chops through like that, and I think that's good. Okay, and in this pile I'm just literally gonna mix it in with the druzy type chippy choppy, like so. So that's getting mixed together. All right, so that's that pile. And then these elongated strips, same thing. I'm just going to do a little bit of a dusting of the mica powder on these as well, not a great deal, just to help it not stick so much together. See, like that's stuck together. Let's get a little bit more of this, I think. I don't know. Anyway, so what can I talk to you about today? I don't really have much to tell you guys, to be honest. Somebody commented that I seem very serious in my last video, and I guess I was really. I don't know why. I don't know whether it was because I was so concentrating on what I was doing, and I don't know. I guess I'm not always not serious, if that makes sense. All right, so I've just coated that in the white mica powder, and I'm going to do the exact same thing with this, just to help separate those chunks. And I'm just kind of using the surplus that's on my desk to do that. I'm not going to add any more mica powder, but I am going to give this another quick chippity chop, like so. So you can see the chunks are quite chunky, and then I've got the elongated bits, and then I've still got the translucent on its own over here. And again, just a touch of the mica powder just to help separate those chunks, a little dusting. Okay. I think that's probably good. And again, I'm just going to quickly do just a few more chops through. All right, so there are all the components, guys, of the clay. Right then, now we need some liquid trans just poured onto each of those separate sections. I'm trying not to overdo it because this stuff gets mega sticky, but I need a little drizzle of that on each component. And then of course you just tumble it together. Make sure it's all coated, like so. Move that to one side while I do this one. Like so. And then this one. Like so. And if it gets too sticky, I tend to just, like, you know, it gets really, I get too much liquid clay on my fingers. I just quickly give them a wipe down with a wet wipe. And this bit here, I'm actually just going to grab a few of those chunks of translucent that haven't been coloured with anything other than the mica powder, just a few. And I'm going to put this all together like this, just squish it all together. I'm trying to keep things a little bit separate. It doesn't have to be totally separate, but I'm trying to keep each component separate and kind of more strategically placing the clay rather than just tossing it all together, to try and get that more authentic look of the Jasper that I saw. Okay, so I'm just squeezing that together, and you could almost view this as the center of the stone. And then what I'm going to do is grab those elongated bits, give those a little toss, because they haven't been tossed in the liquid clay yet. And actually I've changed my mind. I'm going to start grabbing these bits here and just pushing them on the sides here and there, throwing some of that trans, nice chunky pieces of trans, and just randomly putting these bits wherever, like so. All right, and then I'm going to get these, which are mega sticky because I put too much clay on them, and I'm just kind of just going to put these on the sides like this. Make sure it's all nicely stuck together. Grab a bit more of this, stick that here and there, like so. And it's as simple as that, guys. Just a very simple block, but by being more strategic where you place the individual components, I feel it does give a more authentic look. So that's why I do that. So it just needs all compressing together into a block now. So I'm just going to squeeze it and squash it, turn it and form it into a block. So I'm going to go and do the rest of this off camera. You can see it's still kind of bobbly here and there, so it needs a little bit more squeezing. And I'll be back. I've got this more formed into a neater block now, but I noticed in this Jasper it had some lines in it. So I'm going to do some lines in this by cutting it open and adding some of this black liquid clay. But you don't necessarily have to do lines that go from top to bottom or side to side, which I'm not going to do on all cases. So I'm just going to split the block open just part way like this, and let me just pour it on the tile, it's easier. A little blob of the black liquid clay, and I'm going to get a brush and I'm just going to brush inside of that cut piece there, like so. And this is going to give it some lines running through. Okay, and then squeeze it back together. So you can put these wherever you want to, guys. It's all on you where you want to put them. And I can take some that go further into the stone or not as far. You can do curves, whatever you feel like doing really. And I'm just again brushing this on like so. Okay, so that's another line. So that's 2 lines of the black. I think I'll go with a curved one now, and I think I will go top to bottom with this one. Again, just get the liquid clay and brush it on. Like so. And then pop it back together. All right, so you can keep doing that as many times as you want to. I'm probably just going to do a couple more, I think. So let's say have one down here, just in this corner. Just again, just brush it on where you cut it open. And I'm thinking, let's go with a line on this side. Like so. Okay, so that's going to give you some really nice little lines running through the stone. I'm just going to put my brush to one side, clean this up. And then I'm going to make some more cuts, but this time I'm going to use the translucent clay, liquid clay, and some gold leaf. So I'm doing pretty much the same thing, but I want to give this stone some gold veining as well as some of the black lines. So again, you can cut wherever you want to. So I'm just going to cut in random places. And let me just grab a clean brush. I always say clean brush, but my brushes are never clean. Oops. And I'm just going to do this with this one because I've got a full cut, so I can just do that. Some liquid clay on there, and then I'm just grabbing some of my gold leaf and I'm just going to smush that on there like that. And you can do it quite a thick coat of it. It doesn't have to be a single sheet. I'm just kind of cramming it on there, guys, because when you do that it kind of oozes out onto the top, so it gives you that veined look that you often see in stones. So that's why I put more on rather than just a little bit. And then I'm just going to put some liquid clay on the other side so to make sure that this gold leaf sticks, because it doesn't like to stick to anything. So I'm just putting some of that on there to help it stick back together. And then when we cut into this and roll, some of that gold will hopefully ooze out and create a little bit of a webbing pattern. All right, so I'm going to go and do a few more of those here and there, but I'll do the rest off camera. So liquid clay, gold leaf, liquid clay on the other side of the cut, and then piece it back together. And you can do that as many times as you want to. I've done as many cuts as I would like to do in my block, and I've just squished it back together, and it's just a case of cutting out some shapes. So I'm going to take my first slice, if I can find my blade. Why do I always lose stuff? Things always disappear on me, guys. I literally had it. I can't see it. There it is. Found it. All right, so I'm just going to take a fairly thick chunk because I like my stones to be on the thicker side. I'm just going to slice down. So remember, this is the top of the block, and I've just flipped it towards me, and I'm cutting down that way. And that's what it looks like inside, pre-bake. It's going to look different again once it's baked, because those colours will alter, so to speak. I'm just squeezing it into a more rectangular shape, and I'm going to be using this cutter for this one, and I got this from Debbie in Australia, Aussie Craft Cutters. I'm using the largest size of this particular cutter, and you can also get them from Oh Joy Creations. So I'll leave both of the links to their shops in my description. Always check the description, guys, and or the pinned comment, because I always add more information in both of those places. All right, so I'm just going to give this a little roll. I want to make sure everything's stuck together nice. Turn it over the other way. And because this is the top of the block, it looks a little messier, so I'm just going to give that a quick wipe with rubbing alcohol, otherwise known as isopropyl alcohol, and a wet wipe. And I'm just going to give this a quick clean. Just makes it easier once it's baked. You don't have to keep standing there sanding all the schmutz off. So there's that. So that's nice and clean. Just going to give it a quick dry so it doesn't slide all over the place on me, because I'm going to flip it back over the other way. Okay, so there's the first slice. I'm trying to get some of that pinker colour into it that was on the side. It's kind of flopped over a little bit, so I'll try and get some of that in. And I'm just going to use this cutter, like I said. I'll grab my acrylic block and give it a good old push and a little wiggle. Hope it comes out all in one go. Sometimes it doesn't. That's why I like to be extra wiggly, especially when I do the ones with the cut out centres, because the clay does like to stick in those. So I'm hoping it's gone all the way through. We'll soon find out. Just going to try and... Don't throw these bits away, guys. You can remix these and make another chippy choppy from it. And what I tend to do with my scraps, if they're not like good enough just to reform and carry on doing the same thing, I'll chop this, I'll mix this into one colour, and then I'll add in and chop it up, and then I'll just throw in some translucent and maybe, I don't know, a little bit of copper or something, throw it all together in the mix with some metal leaf, chop it up, and you've got another chippy choppy block. Okay, and it looks like that's going to stick a little bit, so I'm just going to get my brush, try and try and get it out of there. Let me try this. Okay, I think I got it. There we go. And the middle came out with it. So there's that one. Might have to play around with this a little bit, make sure it didn't break anywhere when I pulled it out. But I think that's good. So that's that one. Let me just give it another quick wipe. Just want to make sure it's all nicely stuck together before I lift it. I think it's okay, guys. All right, so there's that one, and it's a pretty cool shape. I kind of like it. And it is reminiscent of a stone shape, I guess. So there's that one. So I'm going to place that on my tile. And that needs to get baked, obviously. So there's that one. I'll do a pair of earrings on camera, and then I'll do some more off camera. I'm probably going to do a round one. You know me, I like the round ones. But I've done quite a few of these, so I will show you some of my other ones as well. All right, so let's take another chunk of this, fairly thick chunk again. And this obviously needs to be rolled out to accommodate two of these because I'm making an earring. But there's this piece still left, but I'll do something with that off camera. All right, so let's roll this out this way so I can accommodate my earring shapes. I'm going to roll this a bit thinner. Just going to make sure it's all nicely stuck together. See if that works. Might need to roll it just a fraction more this way. See what it's like on the back. Oh, that looks quite interesting actually. What I've noticed when I used the gunmetal mixative alcohol ink, that's got metallic particles in it, mica powders in it, and it tends to sink to the bottom. I don't know if you can see that, but it leaves a really cool, you'll see it better once it's baked, but it leaves a really cool effect. Can you see that? That's the bit where I use the gunmetal mixative. It kind of sinks to the bottom because it's heavier than regular alcohol ink, but it does give it a really cool effect, which I think adds to the realistic stone look. Right, so there's that one. I'm going to cut that away. And oops, don't want to cut into the other one. Move it over a little bit and cut into that. So that's a pair of earrings, and this shape is also from Oh Joy Creations. I don't know whether Debbie carries it or not. She probably does. But you look at either one of those websites, guys. Obviously, if you're in America, you're going to go with Oh Joy Creations, but Debbie does have some cool stuff as well if you're in Australia. All right, so there's the earrings. I rather like those. I'm just going to give this a bit of a shape, and that's the earrings, guys. All right, so I'm just going to do those 3 pieces on camera. I'll do some more off camera. I'll go and bake them for an hour and I'll be back. All right, guys, I'm just going to quickly show you the pieces that I've made. This is the one that I did from today, and all I've done is put 2 coats of Kato clear liquid clay on there. I have got a video on how I do that, so I will leave a link in the description for that video. So there's that one, and then what did I do? I did these earrings, didn't I? So there's the earrings. Again, same thing, and you can see where that mixative kind of shows now it's baked. So there's those, and then I did this round one. I absolutely love this one actually. So depending on where you cut, you're going to get a slightly different look, but I really love this one. Again, it's just got Kato liquid clear on it. So they're the ones from that batch. I'll just quickly show you some of the other ones that I made from a different batch. Slightly different in colour, not a lot, but slightly different. I didn't make it quite as dark on the the brown parts. So there's that one. And some earrings. I've got quite a lot of pieces to finish here, so because I've not done all of them, but there's some earrings, and I think they look rather cool. So there's those, and another oval one, and another pair of earrings, and last but not least, this big round one that I did. And I'm not quite sure why there's so much black. I'm thinking where I put the black lines, when I rolled it out, it's squished, so I've got more black kind of oozing through, but I kind of like it. So there's that one, and I just did a hidden bail on the back of that one, but they've all got the liquid clay on there. All you do is brush it on, and then I blast mine with a heat gun until it shines, but you usually need about 2 or 3 coats. I've done 3 coats on this one, and some of them have got 2 coats, but like I say, I'll leave a link in the description on how I do that. All right guys, so there's my earth tone Jasper, for want of a better word. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you later. Bye.